All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Shataya Williams. I am the outreach coordinator for Moms in Motion. And today we have George Mason University. And with us presenting today, we have Chris Williams. So, Chris Williams is the Employment and Adult Services Coordinator for the Mason Life program. Chris joined Mason Life in February of 2022. He holds a bachelor's degree in communication and a master's degree in higher education, both from George Mason University. Before his time with the Mason Life program, he previously worked in the disability service and academic advising at Mason. So we are super excited to have you today and to hear all about the Mason Life program and what you all offer. So whenever you're ready, take it away.
All right. Thank you so much for that introduction, Shatea. I'm very excited to be with you all today to share information about the Mason Life program. All righty. So what exactly is Mason Life? Mason Life is a 4-year inclusive post-secondary non-degree certificate program for students with intellectual and developmental disabilities. The goal of our program is really truly to mirror the degree seeking experience. Provide an opportunity for support staff to gain practical experience and learning from and working with individuals with disabilities. And our support staff, as I'll talk about more about them as we go through the presentation, but our support staff are undergraduate and graduate students that are attending George Mason that we hire and train to work directly with the students in the Mason Life program. So who are we serving? We will have 59 students for the 2024-2025 academic year. The picture that you see on our screen are our rising sophomore students, our rising second year students. So the students that you see just completed their first year in the Mason Life program. You can see that for our incoming class for fall 2024, we will have 17 students, 16 sophomores, 18 third year students, and we will have 8 students that will be completing the program in May of 2025. And we have students from all over. Majority of our students are from the DMV area. Virginia, Washington, D.C., and Maryland. But we do have students from North Carolina, Illinois, and Texas. We've previously had students from California. We truly recruit all over the country. We like to have a diverse pool of students in the Mason Life program, mirroring the Mason experience of having diverse students on campus as well. So I really recruit students from all over the country, but many students coming directly from the local DMV area. All right, so what is the philosophy of Mason Life? We truly do strive to model post-secondary education with an emphasis on focusing on research, academics, campus integration, employment opportunities, and the development of independent living and social skills. Our program truly does mirror the degree-seeking experience through our 4 components that I will spend time today speaking about. And we really do truly focus on assisting students in becoming independent and advocating for themselves on their own. So what else? You're thinking about, students, if you're on the line, you're thinking about, do I want to go to Mason Life? What does a Mason Life student, what does a Mason Life admitted student have? Or parents or support members, family members that it may be thinking about, someone that might be interested in applying to the program. It really goes down to having what's listed on the screen here, amongst others. So number 1, there must be an interest in learning in the college classroom. The Mason Life program is an academic program, so students must have that curiosity, that hunger, that interest in truly learning and continuing their education. There also must be an interest in making friends and trying new activities. Part of the college environment is learning, but also part of it is also joining clubs and attending activities and going to events on campus and getting involved on campus. And so we really want, students that are interested in that. They're interested in making friends and interested in trying new things and getting involved with different social clubs that are, connected to their interests, connected to maybe a religious affiliation that they have, connected to maybe a sports that they have an interest in or hobbies that they have an interest in. But really really just have that interest in getting involved, hanging out with friends, trying new things, meeting new people. There also must be an interest in gaining work experience. Part of the program is actually the area that I oversee, is our internships. So students must have an interest in gaining work experience and being employed in an internship experience and helping with that. There also must be an ability to spend up to 4 hours independently managing daily unstructured time. Part of college is that a difference, definitely from high school, is that, you will have free time. So, if we have students that live on campus and we have students that live locally that may commute to campus. And so regardless of whichever boat that you're in, there might be times that that you have a chunk of time that you may have free time because you don't have any classes, you're not working, etc. So a student has to be able to spend up to 4 hours independently, being able to manage that free time on their own. An ability to utilize technology, such as a laptop and cell phone. Part of being in college, we communicate with students and send out lots of information via email. Support staff that are working with students will oftentimes use their phone for calling and texting, like to coordinate times that they're going to be meeting together. So it's very important that a student has the ability to be able to use their laptop, respond to emails, check emails, use their cell phone, respond to answer calls, text messages, and things of that nature. There also must be an ability to take care of self. So managing your daily hygiene, medication, specialized diet, simple cooking, chores around the house, things of that nature, particularly for our students that are living in the residence halls. We do have support staff in the residence halls, but there also should be an ability for students to be able to take care of themselves with their, managing their daily hygiene, with showering and being able to clean the bathroom and clean the kitchen and things like that, but also making simple meals too. Part of the experience for our students that are living in the residence halls is that independent living of being able to cook a meal for yourself, going grocery shopping, and then coming back to the residence halls to, put something in the oven or put something in the microwave to be able to fix for yourself. There also must be an ability to know when and how to ask for help when needed. You're on a college campus, so if something happens, being able to advocate. And of course, we most certainly support students with self advocacy skills, but a student having a basic awareness of, okay, this is a moment that I need help from a support staff, or I need to talk to someone that can help me out with the situation, maybe a medical emergency or things like that. Having an awareness of that, okay, this is not something that I can handle on my own, but I need to reach out to someone, and a bit of ability to manage emotions if things do not go well. We do support students, and we have a course that's actually in the Mason Life program that's called self-regulation for students to support students in that area. But students should have a basic awareness of being able to manage emotions if things are not going well for them, to receive support and assistance with that. So these are kind of a general list of, like, if you're thinking about if I should apply to the Mason Life program, I want to go on to higher education to have to receive a certificate, and having the college experience. These are definitely things that you should be able to have an ability to do, or have an interest in doing so. And so our components. So part of mirroring that degree seeking experience is that we have component areas in academics, employment, housing, and community involvement. And so I'm going to talk through all of those. And then, as I mentioned, at the end of the Mason Life program, students do not earn a bachelor's degree. So I really want to be clear with that too. Students are not working towards a bachelor's degree, but they do receive a certificate of completion at the end of participating in the program. So starting with our academics is split into two sections. We have foundational academics and we have exploration academics. So our foundational academics provides continuous education for Mason Life students. These are courses that are taught predominantly by graduate student staff. So these are typically graduate students that are pursuing a degree in special education or another education related field. They are graduate students that are teaching these courses. So these courses are taught in-house through the Mason Life program. And students are required to take during their first year. So their first year in the program is heavily really focused on the foundational academic courses that they will be taking. And you see a list here of some of the required courses that students must take, which include literature, math, writing, human sexuality, and relationship fundamentals, and self-regulation. So these are typically taught within the first year in the program. As students progress through the next 3 years after year one, there are other foundational academic courses that students can take as electives. So we've had, special topic classes that have focused on leadership, that are focused on public speaking, that are focused on current events. Truly a variety of, we have one this year that's focused on history. So we have a variety of different elective foundational courses that are taught by Mason Life staff too that students can take after year one. But these are the required courses that students would be able to take their first year in the program. It really is focused on these courses during that first year. On this next slide, you actually see some students in foundational academic classes on campus. So some of these are classes that are taught in class, and others you see, two photos are students cooking in the independent living class that we have. That really is for any students can take, but definitely helpful for those students that are living in the residence halls, where students learn how to make different meals. We've had students that have made muffins and different pastries and other things like that. But each week in that class, they are learning and making a different meal and trying something different. So definitely really focusing on those independent living skills. And then you see that there's some students that sometimes classes outside when the weather is nice. So really a variety that you can see. In addition to our foundational academics, we also have our exploration courses. And our exploration courses are exactly what they sound like. It really gives students an opportunity to explore. So these are the university courses that degree-seeking students are taking. Mason Life students are participating in them, but they are not receiving college credit for it. Because this is a certificate program, the students are not receiving college credit. So we modify the course based on their needs. And so through these courses, students will learn academic skills, build autonomy, and learn how to apply their knowledge. Faculty must give prior approval before enrolling a student in the course. So once again, the Mason Life student would be attending these classes with other GMU Patriots. And so the students earn a certificate of completion at the end of the program, which includes a comprehensive concentration of their choice. So once again, because students are taking courses, these are university courses. So a student could be taking recreation classes, students could be taking psychology courses, biology, sociology, criminology, writing, music, theater. Students are taking courses in all types of different disciplines and subject matters that we have at the university. And a student, when they get their certificate of completion at the end, they could earn a comprehensive concentration in an area. So for example, if a student was really interested in going into education, they took education classes at the university, so maybe special education or elementary education, etc., they could have a comprehensive concentration in education at the end. So to get a comprehensive concentration, students must take 5 exploration classes in one subject matter. So 5 in one subject matter, and they would have that. So or another example, maybe students really are into are really into business classes. So they could have a comprehensive concentration in business, for example. But we also have flexibility too. Where maybe students are like, I want to take a theater class, I want to take a communication class, I want to take a criminology class, and I want to take a music class, right? We also have the opportunity for students to earn a integrative studies, a comprehensive concentration as well, that really provides that, that I wanted to take courses in different disciplines. So once again, really mirroring that degree seeking experience that, that we can do either integrative studies or we can do in a specific area if a student has a specific interest. So one thing important to note about the exploration courses, a student may have a support staff that's going with them to the course. So a support staff, as I mentioned earlier, is a undergraduate or graduate student that we hire that is currently working towards a degree at Mason that we hire and train to work with the student in different aspects of the program. So one of those supports may be going to an exploration class with the students. And then after they go to that class during the week, they will also have a support class. The support class is really designed to help the students with homework, class assignments, reviewing course materials, reviewing the chapters that were covered maybe that week. So the support staff, the support block is really designed for that. So since Mason Life students do not earn college credit, all of the coursework will be individualized for the student. But so the student is attending their exploration classes, and then in addition to their exploration class, they also have a support block class that they would also attend, that kind of just to review the content that was covered in their lecture with the support staff going over homework, class assignments, and things of that nature. And you see here some students in different exploration classes giving a presentation, a student doing photography, students doing different work on the computer. So lots of different subject matters that our students have taken and for their exploration courses. The second part of the program is employment. So this is the area of the program that I specifically oversee. So our employment component supports students in learning job-specific skills, responsibilities, and behaviors appropriate for the work environment. So students are taking they take an employment skills seminar course every year that they're in the program. Year one, they only take an employment class. So that employment class is going to be focused on interview skills, working on a team, developing a resume, and things of that nature. We have students that are coming in. Students can enter the Mason Life program from any age of 18 to 23. So that's the age that students can enter into the program, is 18 to 23. I don't believe that I mentioned that earlier. But so some of our students may be coming directly from high school. Some students may have gone to another program after high school. So some of our students are coming in with work experience. Some are not coming in with any work experience. So we really like to use that first year in the program to help students with kind of meeting them where they're at. If they've had work experience, just kind of helping them with learning about their interests and continuing to identify their skills. If they have not had any work experience, it's really just kind of introducing them to employment, introducing to them the concept of like what it means to show up to work on time, to have duties and responsibilities, to complete your work, and things of working with others on a team and things like that. So the component supports the employment sites in developing a relationship with the intern and learning how the individual learns and works best. And also it's a resource. So employment, we have a resource for the employer and a resource for the student at the same time. Students work on and off campus in paid and unpaid positions. And really the difference between if it's compensated or not, it really depends on the department on campus or the organization off campus, if they have the means and way to be able to pay our students. We are actively more and more moving towards more compensated positions for our students, but sometimes are uncompensated. I will say particularly for our students that have an interest in education, that are working in daycare centers or Fairfax County Public Schools, as an example. Those tend to be unpaid experiences. They tend to be more volunteer experiences, but the work and experience that the student is getting with navigating and learning how to work with children, working with children and helping with gaining that experience is still very valuable for them. Um, Students, this part of the program truly does aid in development of professional portfolio. So similarly to academics, students earn a work specialty that will be listed on their certificate of completion as well, that reflects the industries that they worked in during their time in the program. So we have internships in truly a wide variety of different settings. We have students working on campus in the dining halls and the recreation centers, and different administrative offices, at our daycare center on campus. And off campus, we have students that are working at restaurants. We have a student that works at a software development company. We have students that intern on Capitol Hill. We have a long-standing partnership with Capitol Hill where some students can intern for U.S. representatives. We have students that work in animal care placements. So truly a wide variety of different settings that reflect the industries that students want to pursue. And then once students complete the program on their certificate, maybe if they've worked in all of their placements were animal care related because they really want to work for an animal shelter or an animal organization after they complete the program, we would say that they have a work specialty in animal care. or maybe for students that have worked in office administrative roles their entire time. They really want to work in an office setting. We would say that they have a work specialty in business administration. So we really do cater it to the experiences that they've had to help them with being marketable as they are seeking out employment once they complete the program. And student internships, they change. Our semester internships are a semester period. So a student could be in one internship for one semester when they first start out, and then after that first semester, we meet every semester to discuss their interests. And so there's opportunity to continue with the same internship if they really enjoy the work that they're doing, enjoying the team, and they have the ability to have the student again. Or maybe, the student's like, I really want to try something different. I thought I really wanted to work with children, but now I really want to try out working in an office environment. We provide that flexibility. So each semester we'll meet with the student to discuss and review their interests to see if they would like to stay in the same placement or try something new, try a new and different placement for the upcoming semester. And I will note that internships are their second through fourth year in the program. The first year is just the employment class. They still have the employment class each year that they're in the program because topics such as interview skills, resumes, working with others on a team, skill development, all of those are important topics to continuously review every single year. We just kind of adapt it as the student progresses through the program, but their second through their fourth year, in addition to the class, they also are at their internship sites. And we have internship work site. We use that term interchangeably. Some of our sites are more working. We call it work site for our students that are in the dining halls. It's more employment based. But sometimes we have a student that's a photographer for our branding office. That's more of an internship. So we use the term interchangeably. You might see here as well. And here are some of our students working at different placements. So you can see truly variety of different things from the police cadets in the upper left-hand part of the screen to the pet spa that's next to that. You see a student working with a dog, grooming. The center student that has answering the phone that's on Capitol Hill. The UPS store, student in the top right reading a book to kids at a daycare center. The dining hall, a thrift store. So really, truly a wide variety of industries reflected that once again reflect what the students want to pursue afterwards. Here are some of our alumni stats. So 84%, this is data from last year that we polled all of our alumni. 84% of respondents are currently employed at different places. And here are some of the organizations and businesses that our alumni are working at. 73% are working independently. So what I didn't mention in employment is that we do have support staff. So similarly in the classroom where we have support staff to go to classes with students, we do have support staff that also will go to work with students as well. But we do scale that back. So as a student gets more comfortable, they understand their duties and responsibilities. They feel comfortable advocating for themselves with supervisors and things like that. We do scale the support back to where they could be going to their work site independently. And so that you will see that 73% working independently, that reflects that kind of that scale back model that we have, that students, once they finish the program, majority of them are also going into their jobs afterwards, working independently as well. And 47% utilize public transportation or drive to work. So for our students that are working off campus, support staff do help with travel training and just kind of working with the students and going from campus to their job, working with the student at their job, and then returning from their job back to campus as well. But once again, variety of different industries that you see here that also reflect and mirror kind of like the variety of internship experiences we have for students as well. So the third component of our program is housing. Housing is optional. Not all students live on campus. Students will develop daily living skills related to knowledge of personal care, overall safety, meal preparation, household management, and budgeting. So students will be living independently in the residence halls. We do have there could be a support staff living in the suite. So the on-campus residence halls for Mason Life students, the two buildings that we have our students in are both apartment suite styles. So there are 4 individual rooms, a kitchen, a living room, and 2 bathrooms in each of the suites. So where our students are living, they're in buildings where other GMU Mason students are living as well. And then so with the Mason Life students living on campus, they could have a support staff living in the suite with them, or or a support staff in the building. So one of the two, they would have support there that's in the evenings and overnight. Students are expected to safely and productively spend a minimum of 3 to 4 hours period without support. So going back to a little bit of what I mentioned earlier, part of college is having free time. So, maybe you might have like a 3 to 4 hour gap in between classes, that, that you have free time, that you can hang out with friends, go off campus, or, hang out in your room. But you would have to figure out how to kind of manage that unstructured time on your own. So students are expected to be able to handle that 3 to 4 hour period without support. Students will also take a housing class. So we call it the independent living class. So you saw a few pictures of that on the academic slides a few slides ago, to further their skills in daily living, recreation, and relationships. And all students will also participate in team building to understand the interpersonal interaction and connections. So all students that live in the residence halls, we do have team building that we do with each suite. So typically it may be 3 students in a suite and 1 overnight support staff. Or some students, if they're very independent, it could be 4 Mason Life students in a suite, and they just have a building support staff. So the support staff would be in the same building, but maybe not in the same suite. But every student would have their own individual room, and they would just share kitchen, living room, and then a bathroom. And then once again, we have the team building to be able just to build bonds, to get to know the people that you're living with. Because obviously, as you can expect, living with others, sometimes conflict will arise, maybe with doing the dishes, cleaning the bathrooms, and things like that. So we have team building to really incorporate it for the students to get to know each other and to help them with communicating with each other. There is a process and application too, so it's a separate when students apply to the program. If they move forward with going to interview, there is also a separate interview as well, for just going over skills that would be needed living in the residence halls too. And here's some pictures from the residence hall. So you see here some students hanging out, cooking, cleaning the bathroom, doing laundry in the kitchen, outside. So a variety of things, but this just kind of gives you a snapshot into the residence halls. All right. Our fourth component is community involvement. So as I mentioned earlier, right, part of college is absolutely learning and gaining work experience and working on independent living skills, but also it's about making friends and meeting new people and trying new things. So students are required to participate in on and off campus opportunities involving student organizations, intramural club sports, and university-wide events. We really do promote social engagement of Mason Life students within the program and the greater Mason community, by matching individual students to their self-selected social activities. So we really expect students to participate in at least one activity per week and join at least one new on-campus organization each semester. So we really do want students to get involved and make the most of it, make friends, and seek out. Mason has over 400 different student organizations to choose from. So there is definitely a little bit of everything. And if there is, if a club does not exist that students have an interest in, at Mason, fun fact, you actually have the ability to create your own club. So there really is something for everyone at Mason. And so we really do push students to have that fun aspect, just to make memories with other students, to get involved, and not just in the Mason Life program, but making connections with the wider general Mason community as well. We really do immerse the Mason Life students into campus, and so Mason Life students absolutely do interact and make connections with degree-seeking students on campus as well. We encourage that, and making those friendships and relationships. And so we encourage the students to get involved with any organization or club that they have an interest in, and trying out something new that they might have an interest in as well. And then the activities, we do have multiple activities going on each week, And we do have support staff too that like sometimes we'll organize on the weekends. If there's a big event, we'll organize a group that will go to that event too. So Mason Life support staff do support with this, but we truly do encourage the students to go out and get involved on campus, but we can provide them support if they're like, I'm having a really hard time figuring out what club to join. We do have support staff that can assist them with seeking out a club and finding out, like when the club meets or like when the event might be that might be of interest to them and things like that. And here are some pictures of our students out and about on different things on campus. So you can see them out eating or out at a big event or playing in the game room. Each year we do a lot of things for getting out the vote and voting rights on campus. So we have students there that each year that we do a big initiative with helping out with Mason votes on campus. And so you see their picture at the bottom right. But lots of work that we really encourage the students to get involved in different things that they have an interest in out on campus and in the local community. Right. So I will talk a little bit about we are full for the fall 2024 semester. So if anyone is online right now thinking about, oh, I really would love to apply for fall 2024, we are currently full. We have admitted all of our students. So we are actively gearing up for fall 2025. So the fall 2025 application has not been posted yet. We do plan on getting that posted by September of this year. So in just a few months. So that will be posted soon. It will be an online application that you will fill out. So that will be posted to our website once it's complete. We also do require 2 recommendation forms that you will need people that can speak to your ability. So that can speak to your strengths, can speak to your areas of growth, how you might be a good fit for the program. So typically a teacher or anyone that has worked with you well that can speak to your strengths and area of growth would be a really good person to fill out your recommendation form, but you will need 2 of those to be completed alongside your application. And those are forms that you can send the link to your recommender to complete and fill out. Documentation, we do require a psychological evaluation or educational eval. Our full documentation requirements are listed on our website so that you can see that if you go to masonlife.gmu.edu, and that link is also at the end of the presentation too that I'll keep up for you to share. We do ask that our documentation will be completed within the last 3 years. So for those of you applying for fall of 2025, if you're thinking about applying for fall of next year, that would mean 2021. So 2021 would be the oldest that we would accept your documentation, your psych eval, or your educational eval. So we'd like to have that most current so we have an accurate depiction of where the student is currently at. We do not have an official application deadline, but if you need to have a date in mind that you're like, when do we absolutely should get the application submitted by, that would be Friday, January 10th. So that is the golden day. Friday, January 10th, 2025 is the date that the admissions panel will be meeting to review applications received at that point to select candidate for interviews. So if you're thinking about when should you get it in, that would be the date, by Friday, January 10th. I will note after January 10th, we will review applications on a rolling basis. After January 10th, we will review on a rolling basis, but we are on a tight timeline. As you can see, on January 10th, we will meet to select candidates for on-campus interviews. So those students that have applied that are selected for an on-campus interview, those will be held Monday, January 27th through Wednesday, January 29th. So that's 3 days on campus, and it's pretty much a full day. On-campus interviews are for the student and family or support member that will be with them, and it will consist of spending the day meeting current students, support staff, and the core admin team. We start the day with a group interview to learn more about the students. We like to get that away early in the beginning, and then the rest of the day, the students have an opportunity to sit in on a Mason Life taught class, one of those foundational academic courses. They have the opportunity to go to lunch with current students to learn and just, ask questions about their experience. So they have lunch with current students in the program. And then we also have a panel at the end too that, students can ask current students in the program any questions that they might have. Families and students can ask questions at the end. So it's a full day. As much as we're interviewing the student, it really is a great opportunity as well for the student to say, do I like being on campus? Do I like sitting in a classroom? Do I like kind of going to lunch and kind of seeing what it's like on campus and meeting current students? So it really is an opportunity just for us to interview the student, but also for the student to interview us too, to see if this is a good fit, if I can see myself doing this on a daily basis. And then admission decisions and notifications will be sent out via email on Friday, January 31st. So no official deadline, but if you need to have something in mind, Friday, January 10th, that's the day that we're going to be meeting to review applications. So it's good to have it in by that point. If we do have any open slots afterwards that, as we're filling in and scheduling for our interviews, January 27th through January 29th, we will still review on a rolling basis any applications that come in after January 10th. And then we will have an orientation that would be a full day that would be either typically the end of May, early June in 2025 too for admitted students. Program costs. So these were the costs for this past academic year for in-state students for tuition rates. We do not have our current tuition rates for the upcoming year, but it probably will be around this range just to give you an idea. So I wanted to include this just so that you can see current rates for in-state. 21,537 for the year, and you can break that down by semester. And then you can see also the cost for our out-of-state students as well. 29,458 for the year. And then for our students that are living on campus, there are additional fees. So the room fee is 13,710 per year. And then the support fee is 12,587. So that support fee, once again, we have support staff that are in the evenings, and call them the day support staff that are there in the evenings for anything that may help with like meals and preparation, things like that. Then we also have overnight support staff that are there overnight while everyone, while everyone's sleeping. So they are there too in the event of an emergency or things like that. So that support fee goes towards those staffing that's helping us with staffing those. And you can see the total housing costs as well. So with those program costs, we do want to provide like financial assistant resources. Students, while Mason Life is not a degree-seeking program, students can still apply for FAFSA. They can still apply for FAFSA and receive any financial aid or assistance that's offered through completing their FAFSA. So there's the link there for the studentaid.gov. Also, Virginia 529 college saving plans or Able Now accounts can pay a tuition portion of the Mason Life program too. For those of you that may be Fairfax County residents, connect with the Community Service Board. There are maybe some assistance as well that the Community Service Board can provide too for those of you that are potentially living in Fairfax County. And then the program itself offers several competitive scholarships to qualified students to help defray costs associated with attending the program as well. So there are scholarships that are open only to current students, but also scholarships that are open to incoming and continuing students as well. So we are always actively looking to grow in our scholarships that we provide. And as we continue to add scholarships, we definitely will share that information with incoming students and with students currently in the program too as well. And with that, that is our contact information. So our website has all of this great information as well. It has our updated information for fall 2025 admissions timeline. Once our application is up and running, that will be posted on our website. So definitely make sure that you bookmark that. There is our phone number and there is our email address. If you have any questions as you're going through or filling out the application or you're interested, there is our phone number, there is our email address. Our office manager, Stephanie Atkins, is typically the point of contact and manages our emails and our first point of contact on the phone. She is very knowledgeable about the program. We can answer a lot of those questions as you might be thinking about applying and things like that. Right. And with that, I will stop sharing and see if there are any questions.
Thank you, Chris. We did not get any questions in the chat. However, let me check our Facebook messages.
Okay.
Let's see. Okay, we did get a few questions. Someone said if a student has or requires an attendant, can their attendant attend classes and events with them?
So attendant, I don't know if we have. I am uncertain on that one. We have not had that experience
Mhm.
in the program just yet, so I don't want to answer on it because we I have not experienced that in the program. We have our support staff that are with students, and so we really try to really focus on any supports that students have used from individual services before that. We really do try to utilize our supports within the program. So our, going to events, going to the classes, going to internships and things like that. We really try to utilize those supports. So I don't want to give an official answer because I haven't experienced that, but yeah, so I hope that provides a little bit of clarity per se.
No problem. Thank you. And then with your support staff, do students have to be evaluated or are they there to support all students in the program?
Yeah, so that's a good question. So our supports, so the students in the program will be graded. So, like for example, in their classes, they still receive a grade. It's not necessarily they will have a transcript. Mason Life students do have a transcript. They don't receive credit, but they still will have a transcript. When they're out at their internship sites, they are still evaluated. They have a midterm evaluation that really is to give them feedback on how things are going thus far. And they also have an end of semester evaluation as well.
Got you. Okay. Thank you. And I know towards the end of your presentation, you spoke on the fall 2025 admissions timeline. Um, is there an application fee?
There is an application fee. Last year it was $70. I do not know
Mhm.
if that's going to change for the upcoming year. I think that we're going to be discussing once we have that posted, we'll have that information on our website. But just to give you an idea, last year the application fee was $70.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And that is all the questions that I received on my end. So let's see. Thank you again for joining us today. I really enjoyed listening to and learning all about the Mason Life program. I think the pictures that you added in your presentation were especially helpful. That way, it gives our community a chance to see how students can interact with each other and what they're doing in the program.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I enjoy seeing the pictures too. It tells a better story than I can say in words any day.
Yes, thank you. Those were super awesome. That is the end of our presentation today. Chris, thank you again for joining us. And for anyone who is watching, feel free to share this video. And if you missed it, it is on our Facebook page and YouTube. In the comments, we have listed the phone number and email address for Mason Life program. That way you can contact them and ask them any questions about the upcoming semester.
Thank
Thank
you.
you all.